Hi, thank you for joining me today for day 17 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life. And today I'm documenting a photo of my daughter on our family holiday last year. I think I've just got one more photo to do now and then that holiday is done. I keep saying that, don't I? And then find another one. But it's almost done. So this is her just lying on a sun lounger by the pool at our hotel. So I wanted to use the Vicki Boutin Where To Next collection for this. It's the first time I've dug into this, and I'm focusing on the yellows, greens and blacks, which are the colours in Amelia's shorts and on the sun lounger. So the sketch you can see in the top right hand corner is by Corey Mace. And Corey has got 3 photos. I've chosen to just use one large 4x6 photo. So I'm cutting the 6x8 papers down half an inch on each side just to create that chevron type look. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know I absolutely adore chevrons. So this sketch was definitely made for me. So just using those 3 colours to create those chevrons that will go on the left hand side, and then I'll use the same papers to do the chevrons at the top as well. Now I could have left these solid, but I decided that I wanted to do them as proper chevrons rather than using squares of paper or triangles of paper. So just coming in with my T-square ruler to check everything is straight. And I struggle a little bit with this, trying to work out how to get the angles right, but I get there in the end. I should have got my set square out, shouldn't I? So just positioning those, and I kept the strips as they were when they came off the paper, just so that I had plenty of leeway to decide exactly where to position them. And now I'm just going to glue them down with my wet glue, starting with the smallest, and then I can use that as my guide to add the other 2, just with a small gap in between each one. I've been waiting to use this Where To Next for a while. I've had it in my stash, but I don't know whether you're like me. I struggle. When I get a new collection, I don't really know where to start and how to cut into it and what to do, because I want to do the papers justice. And look at this. I've ended up doing an almost monochromatic layout, just choosing 3 colours and using the smallest amount of paper. But I've made a start now, so it should be easier to keep using this collection now that I've started. And it is wonderful. There's so many different things in there. I think it was a little bit overwhelming as well with all the different bits and pieces, because I've had most of the collection. I've had these loose papers. I didn't go for the paper pad this time, just the loose papers, the 6x8 paper pad, the chipboard frames. There's so much, the papery pack, and so it goes on. And here I am just using 3 sheets from the 6x8 paper pad. So I'm going to glue those top ones down, and I've pulled this title. I love these pieces in the chipboard pack. There are some huge black statement titles that you can use on your layout. So I pulled out the one saying vacay. There were quite a few different ones that I could have used for this photo, but I thought it would make sense to use the holiday one on a holiday photo. And look at the impact that that has on the page. I absolutely love that. So again, just gluing those chevrons down with my wet glue and then trimming off the excess once they're in the positions that I'm happy with. Just checking how I want my photo and that title before I do that. And you'll see me fiddling with that several times to make sure that I'm happy with the positioning. I think when you're now and watching the video back, it wouldn't have mattered too much where the title was, but when you're on top of a layout and trying to create, sometimes it just doesn't seem right wherever you put it. So I'm going to map my photo, first of all, with some white cardstock, just to create that lovely border that I like, to give it separation from the rest of the colours in the layout. And then I'm going to add the scraps of the paper that I've got left over as my photo mat. So just using my large scissors to trim those edges, and then bringing in these papers. And I decide I want them offset against one another so that they don't cover the full back of the photo, just so that the different colours get different prominence. So just checking again which way I want to do them, because I don't really want the green on the left hand side, because I don't want it to overlap that green strip. I wanted the different colours to shine rather than just blend into the one piece. So just getting that green piece down, and then I shall add on the black and white. And I just love green, lemon and black together. I think they just work beautifully. And once these photo mats are down, I'm going to bring in some stenciling. I saw Jessica Michaels did a video a few days ago. I think it might have been for my sketch on day 6. And she stenciled with some orangey yellow, and then she added some black over the top. And I just thought it looked absolutely amazing having those two colours and stenciling a different colour over the top of the first one. So I wanted to give that a go myself. And it really does look beautiful when it's done. So thank you, Jessica, for the inspiration. So I'm just adding my Sticks 2 foam pads to the photo just to pop it up from the page, make it the focal point of the layout, and it also means I can tuck some bits underneath easily. And I'm just bringing in some of these scraps of strips that were cut off the top chevron to add some more layers behind the photo. So first of all, this yellow piece, and that bridges the gap between the black and white and the green. I'm just using my wet glue to adhere that on, slide it across. And then once that's down, I think I bring in another piece of yellow and also a piece of black and white at the top. So here's the black and white going across the top, just trimming off that diagonal piece. And I love all these different layers. They really do add a lot of interest to the photo mat. So just this little bit of yellow, bringing the yellow down to the bottom of the photo mat as well. And now that's sorted, as I say, I'm coming in with my stencils. So both of them are Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stencils. First of all, the hexagon one, and I'm bringing in my fossilised amber yellow just to create a little bit of interest underneath the bottom right hand corner and top left hand corner. So once again, I'm creating that diagonal that I do so enjoy on my layouts. So just going across, I didn't want it to be a straight line, so going up and down across the stencil to create that texture. Just coming back in to add a little bit more at the bottom here. And there we go, I'm happy with that. So now the yellow's down, I'm going to come in with this heart stencil. I think this was from Simple Stories, I forget now which stencil came from where, and using my tiny blending brush and my black soot ink, just so that I can choose carefully which hearts I'm going to stencil. And once again, I just go across in a little strip, not in exactly the same place as the hexagons, but just to add that pop of black to both areas of the stencil. So first of all, across the bottom here, and then again, just bringing in that photo to check if I've gone far enough across, and I do want to go a little bit further, so just slowly and carefully adding the ink to the hearts. A little bit more. And some of this will get covered up with the photo, but that's fine. That's why I'm bringing the photo back in, just to check that I'm happy with the positioning. And these little stencil brushes are brilliant for detail work like this. And you can just wash them with soapy water. Use cold water so it doesn't disrupt the glue that the hairs are held in by. And it's fine just using some dish soap or hand wash or anything like that. Just washing the excess ink off. So I think that's more or less it now. I've got my hearts down, just wanting to add a little bit more again to this bottom piece, just to get the balance right between the two corners. And then up to the top. Never stops, does it? Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. But much better to do it this way than do too much and then regret it, because you can't take it away, but you can always add more, can't you? So, and there we go, that's the stenciling done. So now I'm going to come in with my title and then start embellishing around the photo. And I don't add too much, it's the fairly minimalist sketch, which I really enjoy. I'm just going to glue the title down with my wet glue. And you just need to be confident and put it down. And then I shall add the photo, because I think I've still got the backs. Just using my T-square ruler to check that that title is straight on with all the different angles all over the page. I wanted to double check that. I'm coming back into these old thickers that you've seen me using on a previous layout this week, just to see if there's anything on here that I can bring in. And I love the word yay, so I decided to add that to the top left-hand corner. And then there's that little arrow with a heart on it, which I've added above the vacay title. So now I'm bringing in the black heart, so just an outlined heart, and I'll tuck that in underneath. And this is the point where I think, yep, definitely need to get that photo stuck down before I go any further. So just going to check that that's straight before moving on. There we go, so that's stuck down now. And now I'm going to go through the sticker book. And I literally stop at the first page because there's so much on this sticker book that I could use. But I love this gold geotag. So I'm just going to layer that underneath that black epoxy heart. While I'm doing this, please do check the description box down below to see the playlist that everybody adds their videos to that's joining in. I shall also add Corey's details, who's created this beautiful sketch for us. It would be lovely if you could go and watch some other videos and give people a like. It really is encouraging when you get likes and comments on your videos and subscriptions to your channel. It doesn't cost anything, so do go ahead if you like anybody. These are the printables from Hey Little Magpie. You can buy them as a downloadable, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can download these and print them on a home printer, or we do offer them as a printed version as well if you're in the UK. I think the costs are pretty high if you're outside the UK, so probably not worth it for you. And I'm just going to add an epoxy sticker onto that to make it into an epoxy Flair badge. And then I'm cutting out one of the labels that are on the printable, just to tuck down the right hand side to finish off that cluster there. And I love how that draws your eye up the page from the cluster up to that top little arrow section or chevron section. So just checking it's tucked under that epoxy heart. I like everything touching and layered up. So now adding my date, and I'm just going to add that underneath the vacay title. Just in a couple of, I like the shadowing of more than one stamp. So I tend to stamp 3 times. These are little enamel hearts that we sell at Hey Little Magpie that I've had for a while. So just adding a couple of black ones in there. And just for the final touches now, I'm going to add some splatters. So first of all with my Tim Holtz Distress Oxide in Black Soot, and then a gold watercolour paint that I've got. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you've enjoyed this process, and I shall see you tomorrow for day 18. Thanks again. Bye.